Ladies, please, if ever I forget to record, please remind me, right? Okay, so what we're covering today, like we said, course structure, how we're going to basically do the next couple of weeks, what makes a great Pilates instructor, the different elements that makes up a great Pilates instructor, the Pilates principles. Now, these Pilates principles are the core elements that are going to be driving every single one of your classes. Once you understand the Pilates principles, then it's literally just understanding how to structure a class, getting confidence with the what, why, how of each exercise, and programming it in, right? So Pilates principles, very, very, very important. And then finally, we're going to be being introduced to the mat Pilates repertoire, the mat Pilates exercises. For today, we're only going to be focusing on mastering 8 of them. There are 34, mashallah, right? But for today, we're only going to be focusing on the 8. Those of you that are here for Reformer, as soon as we've done that, we're going to move to the Reformer. You're going to be introduced to the machine, how it works, how to set it up. And then we're going to be taking these exercises that we learned and figuring out how to do them on the Reformer, right? So when we're looking at Pilates, Pilates is the style of exercise. Pilates is the name of the movements. There's different apparatus you can use to deliver a Pilates session. So the exact same exercises you could do on the mat, the majority of them and more you could do on the Reformer. You could do some of them on the Wonder Chair, on the Cadillac. So then you're just using different equipment, different apparatus to do Pilates. Okay, beautiful. So let's get started. Before we start with all the actual juicy stuff, I am going to be giving us the course structure. So as you ladies know, the training every single Friday, it's going to be the practical in person here at Altitude. For those of you that are online, you are going to be joining us obviously online. If someone here cannot make the in-person, you are welcome to join virtually as well. As long as you have a space at home, you've got a mat and you've got equipment for that day. I'll be letting everyone know beforehand which equipment we're going to be using on that day. Reformer ladies, unfortunately, you cannot do it at home unless you got a whole Reformer at home, but I would prefer you here in the studio for the Reformer training, as it's a lot more, you need to be a lot more hands-on for that. On Monday, every Monday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., we are going to be having the theoretical training. So for those of you that don't know the Pilates theory, it's quite intense. It is the same foundational stuff as personal training. So the level of the Pilates is almost as high as a personal training certificate, the actual official one with anatomy and physiology. You're going to learn about all the functions of the body, how the heart, how the lungs, how the muscles work, how the skeletal system is formed. So there's quite a lot of in-depth theory, which is quite nice. Anyone here love theory? Anatomy and physiology. What's for geeks? Yeah. I love it. Right. I didn't used to, but I've fallen in love with it. Now I absolutely love the anatomy, the physiology, the theoretical stuff, because it's very interesting. To be honest with you, a lot of it you might not ever use in your Pilates training, but it's really good to understand the science behind all the systems, how they work, the science behind the background of Pilates, where it came in, the history, the background of the movements. Although you won't generally use all of it, it's nice to just have an understanding. If someone ever comes to your class and they're asking you a question about bone in the body or something about how the muscle works, and you've got a very good understanding, makes you feel confident as the instructor to give an answer, right? Even if it's not directly related to that specific class. You will also be required to send in videos of you doing the Pilates movements that we are covering throughout this training. Now, the one thing that I've noticed throughout, for those of you that didn't meet me at the introduction, right, my name is Charisse. I'm going to be delivering the course. Rory over there is my partner in crime, my partner in life and business. right? So we are going to be taking you throughout the course. And it's a certified Pilates instructor, mashallah. So yeah, yeah, yeah. For our company, for the awarding body, he also had to do. And now he's got his male clients also doing Pilates in their workouts. So we're going to learn a lot about the history of Pilates, seeing that it's actually created by a man. Anyone not know that Pilates was actually created by a male? That's how interesting. Joseph Pilates was his name. So that is where Pilates actually comes from. But we'll be covering more of that in the history of Pilates. So you will be required to send in a recording. Every single training I've ever done of yoga or Pilates, it's always been very crammed. It's been a very few days and it's been an information overload, right? And a lot of the times, even the trainings that we delivered in the past, because it was crammed, the students don't feel confident actually delivering afterwards because there's so much information, such a short period of time, right? There's even some people here, right, that have done a Pilates course and they still don't feel comfortable. So that's why we've decided to launch this as a 6 weeks training. You've got enough time in between the sessions to actually practice, to get comfortable with the movements, but therefore we have to get you to submit those videos. For those of you doing Reformer, I'm going to be requesting you to actually be going to classes. You're going to be doing assignments throughout the week, assessing different classes that you go to. And everything that we cover will be recorded. So if it's like, okay, that was a lot of information, I learned so many things, I forgot the what, the why, the how of the rundown, it's going to be recorded, right? So you're going to be able to access it. You can go back and watch the recordings so that you've got access to that for a whole year. So hopefully by the end of the training, you're going to be feeling confident to deliver. You're going to be feeling confident as a Pilates instructor with every single move, but you're also going to have your own class ready to teach, ready to deliver. And inshallah, 6 weeks, you should be feeling quite confident, right? If not, then we do a little coaching session on your mindset and your beliefs, because that will be the thing holding you back. Okay, by a show of hands, has there anyone here who has never done a Pilates class before? Okay. Maths? Just the one from the, okay, beautiful. Those of you that joined the introduction session, anyone a little bit stiff after the session in a few places, right? A little bit of the core. When we start introducing some more props and some more movements, and after your full day of training, you guys are probably going to be a little bit stiff, hopefully, the next day. So you should have all been sent an email with your login details to the Easy course. Has there anyone who hasn't received an email with their login details? And Emma and Carmen, if you can also just let me know, you can give me either a real thumbs up or a virtual thumbs up. Have you all received your email? Okay, anyone not received the email? Okay. When would have been this week? Maybe Monday. But anyway, don't worry about it now. If you don't have access, because that's where you're going to be downloading all of your course material. You're going to have there the full course manual that includes everything. As we go along week by week by week, we are going to be uploading the video, the slideshows from every session, both the theory and the practical. So you're going to have all of that access. Right now, you will have access to the course manual and something called your learner assessment record. Anyone looked at that yet? Don't look too hard at it. Don't look too hard at it for now. Right, the learner assessment record. The pain of every single training, right? Basically what it is, it's going to be your portfolio that you have to complete for the awarding body. This is evidence of everything that you've basically done throughout this training. It's evidence of your knowledge, for this training. You are also going to be creating a full training program for an individual and a full training program for a group class. Don't look too hard at it because we're going to go through it together. Okay. We're going to go through it together. We're going to make sure that you have all the answers. I have already given you a lot of the answers within the course manuals and the summaries. But as we go through the training, it will be easier to know where to find the information to put it in your learner assessment record. Okay. So unfortunately, this is a compulsory part of the training. It's from the awarding body. It's their evidence to prove that you guys actually know what you're doing, right? And that we're actually teaching you what we're supposed to be teaching you. So we will be going through that as well. If you want to have a look at it throughout the week until next week's training, you can, but don't worry about it now. We'll have lots of time to fill everything in. Sorry, so a quick introduction about myself, and then I am going to get you guys all to introduce yourselves really quickly for us. So my name is Charisse. I have been in the health and fitness industry for 15 years. Right, don't ask my age. I was in the health and fitness industry directly after school. I moved to Hong Kong. I studied personal training. I started doing yoga and Pilates in 2013. Right, I worked on the cruise ships and we were delivering classes every single day, yoga, Pilates, boot camp, spinning. I was fortunate enough to travel the world delivering these classes. And then I started getting more into the psychology side. I started studying into life coaching. Myself and Rory, both part of our academy, as we certify life coaches, right? That's how I know some of you here. Right. So, and then we've also been certifying personal trainers, fitness instructors, yoga and Pilates instructors over the last few years. So I'm very grateful. I'm very blessed. I'm absolutely passionate about anything fitness, yoga, Pilates. Pilates is like my baby at the moment. I've definitely fallen in love with it over the last few years. Started very strongly into yoga being my favorite, and now Pilates has slipped over the last few years and taken its place. Right, but I'm very, very fortunate because now I get to spread my passion and my joy in my teaching with all of you beautiful ladies. Okay, so so that's a little bit about myself. Very, very similar background to me, except he started in law, right? So he's actually a certified qualified lawyer. He didn't start originally from personal training. And then, well, why don't you introduce yourself if you want? With introducing you. These are what you've been communicating with.
Hey, Carmen. Hey, Emma. You guys know me very well. So yeah, like Cherie said, my name is Rory, RJ for short, because a lot of people struggle with the multiple R's. So I thought I would just cut it down. My name is Rory John. Yeah. So like Cherie said, I started out as a lawyer. And in my final year of law, I went to something called a retreat. Has anyone been to a retreat before? Yeah. And I met a girl. And all of a sudden, you'll never guess what happened. Hey, mom and dad, I'm not going to be a lawyer anymore. I'm actually going to be a personal trainer. Yeah. So luckily that went well. And I was very blessed to have a mentor, to have a coach who helped me in the industry. So that's why it's such a privilege for both of us to be able to be that coach and mentor for other people who may not have been as lucky to find someone to help them into the industry. So when it comes to the PT, the life coaching, all of our other programs, Charisse and I run it together. With the Pilates and yoga, I am the admin, I'm the assistant, I'm the coffee maker. Yes. And exactly, of course. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. And like Charisse said, obviously anything technical related, Charisse is going to be the best person. I can, of course, help you make small adjustments as we go. But if there's anything technical related, the back end, the admin, the course, rather just let me know. I can help you with that. And Charisse will actually teach you the real Pilates side. So very grateful to be here with you guys today. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that's what I thought. I thought I was dating, well, now married, but that stage I was dating a lawyer. He told me he was going into accounting. I was like, yeah. He's like, no, actually, I'm going into personal training and life coaching with you. Right? I'm joking. No, I'm very, very, very blessed. Okay, so before we start with that, I would like you all to give us a quick introduction. Who are you and where you're from? Right? So what is your name? Where are you from? I'm going to start over here and then I'm going to bounce in between in person and online. We do have two lovely ladies I'm not going to actually introduce them. I'll let them introduce themselves. Start over here. We'll do the front row, then we'll do the online, and then we'll do the other rows. Okay. So you can go. Your name, where are you from? That's the talking mic.
Hi, my name is Elsha. I was qualified as a school teacher, primary teacher, and did that for a few years, and then went khalas, had enough. But I've always had dancing as a background. I've actually done group fitness as part of while I was teaching, I was always doing group fitness. So it's already sort of part of my life. And then I decided I'm going to quit, do my yoga training. So I've been a yoga instructor since pre-COVID, since that's a thing now. And I've done aerial yoga, hatha yoga, Ashtanga yoga, all the yogas. And then I did life coaching with Rory and Charisse, and that's how I knew them. So when I launched this Pilates, I was like, I want to do that because I want to get my reformer Pilates. So that's why I'm doing the mat. But yeah, but I know how important it is. I understand the importance of Pilates and what it brings to classes because I bring it into my yoga as well. So yeah, and I'm excited to be here with all of you guys. So
Yeah. So, how many have you taken just years as a coach? Obviously, not comfortable with it, you're constantly changing. Just that side. So we're going from that side.
Not want any info, not to info photos, videos.
Good. If you do have a change of heart later, want to tell us privately, I will answer that for first. I'm going to video you as you go.
Okay.
So,
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm from the UK. I've lived here now for just over 3 years. I'm actually I was a qualified nurse. I worked up until COVID, but my husband was working away in Saudi Arabia and he got actually caught over there, couldn't get home for about 8 months. And I was living away from family, so I couldn't work at that time. And then, of course, with nursing, you've got to do your hours every couple of years to keep up your registration, which then I couldn't do. And then this job opportunity came up for my husband. So we came over here. So I haven't worked since we've lived here. I've just been with the kids, but now they're a bit older, I don't really want to go back into nursing. I just want to do something completely different. So I've been doing mat Pilates for about 2 years, and then I started reformer there back in June. And just, well, I love the mat Pilates, but I do love reformer as well. And I thought, do you know what, actually, I'd really like to see if I can, make a go of this, do something different, maybe a new, hopefully a new career. I'm looking forward to it, and actually just nice to be able to do something kind of back into, education and doing something for myself. So that's me.
Hi everyone. My name is Akmaral. I'm from Kazakhstan. I'm 40. Recently, I got my certificate in personal training, and I got a certificate in for Pilates trainer on reformers. So I hope this course will be an addition to my certificate that I already have, because that was a short course. I hope this one will be bigger, better, and more deeper. All my life, I've been doing sports, starting from kickboxing, parkour, dancing, street dancing. Bachata is my hobby. So I was just doing sports, and in between, just building malls and managing them. I have one kid. I'm 9 years in Qatar and just doing sports all these years. That's it.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Divya. I'm from India. I work as a cabin crew with Qatar Airways, and I've trained with Rory and Charisse for our altitude training for Qatar Airways, where I teach cabin crew yoga, Pilates, and dance. I'm super excited to be here and start this journey with them. Yeah. Thank you so much.
are we going to that?
Em, if you could unmute for us, please, and just let us know a little bit about you.
Shall I go? I'm Carmen. I'm from Durban, South Africa. and I am a nail artist. So I do nails for a living, and then I'll teach a bit of ballet because I used to do ballet. I'd really like to change up my life and get a little bit more active because sitting doing nails is really not good for my body and my figure. So that's why I decided to start doing a Pilates instructor course. Excited to be
Thank
involved
you,
in
Emma.
this.
Thank you, Carm.
Just
Thank you.
Common from Durban, South Africa, is currently a nail technician, but she wants to get into Pilates. I will be the volume. I hope she get it right. I'm not mansplaining it, by the way.
Emma, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. So, my name is Emma, and I am originally from South Africa, but recently immigrated to Sydney with my husband. And yeah, I also studied personal training out of school, went on to do my bachelor's in physiology and genetics, found myself working, yeah, in research and that sort of a thing, and not being physically active anymore. And ended up having back surgery. My neurosurgeon suggested I do Pilates. I fell in love with it, and I've been looking for something for myself for a little while just to build a sideline business and hopefully get it into something more. And I've always like dabbled with the thought of Pilates and have always been a little bit too shy, I think, to get into it and thought, oh, you could never actually be that person. But yeah, saw Ignite advertising and thought, why not? Let's give it a go. So here I am.
Thank you, Emma. So those of you that didn't hear, Emma, she's actually my cousin, Emma. Emma's also kind of part of our family. Emma's in Australia. She's moved there recently. She had a back operation a couple of years ago, and her neurosurgeon recommended Pilates to actually help her. So yes, she's hoping to start a new career in Pilates and get brave enough to deliver the classes. And I know she's going to be an amazing instructor.
This side's your good side, right?
Left side's my good side, but then
Just like the ladies, when you see this microphone, you see that little hole at the top there? Just make sure that is close to your mouth.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Priya. I'm from Sri Lanka, and I'm so happy and grateful to be here. I've known Charis and Rory for a while, so it's quite exciting for me. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Ioana. I'm from Romania. I'm very happy to meet you all. I'm here just for personal growth and to start a new career here. My background is aviation.
Morning, afternoon, everyone. While driving to this place, I was wondering why do I put myself into things all the time? That is best I do. I like challenges. I like doing something new to discover. This is a new discovery of mine. And of course, you two and other friends that I will make around. I'm a yoga instructor. I've been here more 20 years in Qatar. And that's it. Thank you.
Hi, ladies. My name is Ryan. I'm from Algeria. I study biology, but when I came here, I met my husband. So he's a personal trainer. He changed my mind. So yeah, I'm a certified personal trainer. I do also indoor cycling, and now I want to upgrade more. So we will start Pilates. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, hello, ladies. Hello, online team. So, my name is Yuli. Well, it's Yulduz, but you can call me as Yuli. It's much easier. So, I've been here for 7 years, and I'm from Kyrgyzstan. This is next to Kazakhstan, as Akmaral. And I work for Qatar Airways. I'm a runner as well. And last year, I discovered the Pilates, the reformer. Then I fell in love. I was like, okay, there's no way back. So now I'm here to do something for myself first and later to expand further. So excited. Yeah.
Speak loud enough to get your voice to your class. Actually, so I can hear you with my whole ears.
Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Gosia. I'm from Poland originally, but I lived half of my life abroad. So, like, kind of say 50-50 at the moment. I'm a Zumba instructor. I did HIIT classes, teach HIIT classes. I did enjoyed CrossFit for a while, for a few years, and I felt like I'm a personal trainer. Okay, by the way, I just feel like something's missing. Like enjoy like experiencing all the activities, and I hope that Pilates will be the missing thing, and like will connect basically through core, help me to be a better coach. And yeah, similar story to Rory, Master of Economy, never did. Yeah, so
I don't have to press anything. Hi, is that loud enough? So my name is Natalie. I'm originally from Malta, but I lived in Canada, Dubai, and Qatar. I've been in the Middle East for 30 years now. So a long time. And that's almost half my life. So you kind of get my age. Anyway, I'm a former teacher. I love teaching. I'm also a certified swim coach for Learn to Swim and club coaching and volleyball coach. So I love teaching and coaching in general. I also an athlete. I used to do triathlons, track, things like that. Then due to injury, I couldn't do any more running, which is really hard on the knees, especially. So I discovered Pilates and literally fell in love with reformer Pilates. I still do my lifting. So I do weight training 3-4 times a week and power walking, boring, instead of walking, instead of running. The reason I'm doing this course though is as retirement isn't so far away, I just want to teach seniors to do Pilates wherever my parents go to daycare. So my objective is not make a career out of it, but to kind of give back and just volunteer doing Pilates for seniors. Yeah.
hi, my name is Sally. I'm from Egypt. I've lived here for some time. I'm a yoga instructor. Me and Elsie, we did the training together. So I'm very happy to see her here. I've tried Pilates, mat Pilates. I've tried Reformer, and actually I fell in love with it. I don't know. I like to do a lot of fitness, but when I did Pilates, I don't know. I just feel there's a different glow to it. Very different from yoga, very different from weightlifting. Reformer, Megaformer was really good. I felt how some of us women, when we have a period of like imbalance of hormones, menopause, hot flashes, these things, it's perfect. Pilates for me was really perfect. Megaforma was really perfect in terms of keeping you fit, little bit of muscles, and at the same time, your cortisol level is really good. So yeah, so I really fell in love with it and said like, I have to hit this course. I have to be certified. I have to give it to others, and I can't wait. I'm so excited. Thank you. Sally,
Sally.
Easy, Sally. Beautiful.
Hey, so lovely to meet you all. Let's just put that back there. Okay, so we'll just quickly go back to these slides. Okay, so ladies, before we go over what I have prepared, you ladies have all already been to a Pilates class. Just in time, Afifa. Sorry, we have one more. She had a little fender bender this morning, so she's a little bit late. Afifa, you can just introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from and your name.
I'm Afifa Youssef. I'm from Tunisia. I'm an English teacher, and I'm looking forward to this class. I'm fine, alhamdulillah, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's my I wasn't speaking. Sorry. Breathe.
Yes, it's okay. You're okay. We're all here. We're fine. Yeah, driving in Qatar. Crazy, right? Can you just say that?
Come try driving.
I know. Some of them are like chilled, like we call them robots, traffic lights. When the traffic light turns green, it will like take everyone like a solid minute to get going. Here it's like before it even turned green. Okay, so I want to find out from you, lovely ladies. You've all been to a Pilates, well, majority of us have been to a Pilates class, whether it's reformer, whether it's mat. What do you think makes a great Pilates instructor? What do you think? If you've been to a class and you're like, I loved her class. Why? Yes. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Who loves a Pilates instructor like that? That's like observant. She knows when to challenge you, knows when, right? Okay. Beautiful. What else? What else makes a great instructor? An online team, you can either unmute yourself or just type it up in the chat or unmute yourself, whatever you prefer. What else? What do you love? Yes, Lana. Okay. Okay, beautiful. Bubbly personality, right? So who likes a Pilates instructor that is very clear with their instructions, right? Who likes an instructor who's bubbly with their personality? Out of interest sake, is there anyone who the personality doesn't really matter for you? Okay, just checking. Just checking online team, no? Personality matters. Okay, beautiful. What else? Sally, your hand was up. Beautiful. Beautiful, right? Okay, so adjustments, got an eye on everyone and the energy, right? Right? You ladies know we're big on energy, big on energy. And over the next couple of weeks, we're going to learn scientific strategies. How do we as instructors get our energy up there? Because there's going to be days where we don't feel like showing up. There's going to be days where you're tired, where you're exhausted because you're human and life happens. Most of us are expats, right? Some of us are parents, new parents, right? So there's going to be days where we're going to have to dig within and create that energy within ourselves.
It makes you a bit more comfortable when you know what you have to do. And then when you go in there, you connect on that approach with your participants and bring them there.
Beautiful. Okay, so you're talking from an instructor's point of view, right? You can see she's an instructor already. So as an instructor for just, I know everyone's introduced themselves, but just show of hand, who's already been giving any form of classes? Yoga, Pilates, teaching even, let's categorize that, right? So exactly, right? When you've got a class prepared and planned, you feel more confident going into it. And your clients can pick up your confidence thereof. Speak confidently wrong. Exactly. That's how I think as well. Yes, yes. Beautiful, right? So there's one lesson for everyone, right? Doesn't even matter if you're doing it wrong, just be confident, right? So well, you'll learn how to do it right, but the confidence will just stay there and you'll still attract people. I notice any other things.
right, but you feel like you can speak to them. You know, something not right when you
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Approachable. How many of you think it's important to have an instructor who's approachable? Right? You ever been to a class for the very first time in a new studio with new people? Can it be overwhelming? Absolutely, 1000%. If you take someone who's postnatal, who's just given birth, or who's recovering from an injury, or who's unhappy with their body, and you put them in a new class, if the instructor is not very approachable, they're going to feel very shy in that class. They're going to feel like they don't want to, that they don't belong in the class. They won't want to come back to the class. If you can just be friendly and approachable and be kind, right? That's already a massive step. And that's without even knowing any exercises, right? What did you say, Alsha? Adaptable.
Let's put them across. Top you. And then strike run away. Don't do that. Because obviously you have to make sure everybody comfortable with what to do, you know, they didn't understand anything they brought. And it was, yeah.
Right.
I'll just tell as an instructor. It's not there.
Yes, yes.
One person you like, but you cannot take that into class.
Yes.
Make them love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a nice way to try and learn that trait is if we can start replacing judgment with curiosity, right? If you can replace judgment and expectations and criticism with curiosity, like, okay, they're new. I wonder why they're here. Like, you'll almost get excited to help them set up, right? I love it when there's a new person. Why? Because I can introduce them to everyone. I can make some jokes with them. They have no idea what they're expecting. So I'm like, oh, you came for a nice little stretch. And everyone's like, right? So whenever there's someone new, try be adaptable, try be approachable, right? It's your people come to the gym. People come to a Pilates class for a reason. They're there for a reason, for a purpose, whether it's to lose weight, whether it's they're unhappy with their body, whether they're recovering from an injury or they're trying to like get onto a new lifestyle, whether they've got an illness or a disease that they're trying to overcome, they come to the gym for a reason. They stay based on the feeling that they get. They don't stay based on how many exercises you know, right? Did not one single person said, I like an instructor that gives me all 3 versions of each exercise with the imagery, with why, how, and they know the exact anatomy and physiological terms to be using. Why didn't anyone tell that? Why didn't anyone say that? Absolutely, right? If we look at the science behind what makes a great instructor, yes, you should have in-depth knowledge of anatomy and physiology. But just because I have an in-depth of anatomy and physiology doesn't mean that I have to speak to you with the terms, right? I'm not going to say move your posterior chain laterally distal away from your right. We understand the terms. Great. Speak English to the people because that's what they're going to understand, right? So yes, having a good understanding of movement patterns, having a good understanding of the body, of anatomy, physiology, the science behind it, it's important, but that's not going to get you clients. And that's not what's going to make people stay at your class. Listen to what everyone said. And that's why I do this activity. Because if you can listen, here we what? 13, 14, 15 ladies? Online ladies, did you give us? Okay, so let's hear online. Rory, you're supposed to be on the chat. So many girls. So Emma says someone who watches to see what you're doing and that you're doing the right movements correctly and helps when you need correction in technique. Carmen, is that an agreeing? You are agreeing, right? Or is it a hands up? Agreeing. Okay, beautiful. Right? So yes, what most people are looking for is someone who's watching them, is someone with energy, right? Strong communication skills. Absolutely. If I had to come, we're looking for you and you ran away. No, we don't need you anymore. If I come down, I'm like, okay, guys, we're gonna do. Okay, Sally, you're watching, okay? Sally, you make sure you're doing it right, Sally. Okay, Natalie, you good there, okay? Excuse me over there. What you said, the old ears, right? So strong communication skills. You don't need to learn that in a training, right? Although we'll be going over strong communication skills, but just being strong with your communication, learning how to project your voice so that even when I'm speaking, I'm not shouting at the ladies in front, but the ladies at the back. Afifa, can you hear me? Right? So it's about learning how to project your voice and speak in a clear, concise way, simple explanations that the person knows what they're doing. That's the goal. As the instructor, you're going to spend 6 weeks mastering every movement, the what, the why, the how. Then all you need to do is explain to someone else how to do it in a clear, confident, concise way. It's so difficult, right? Yes, life, right? Exactly. So now you just have a class full of little children. Just imagine they're your children. Yes. Okay. And again, if you're thinking of it from that perspective, right, for those of you that are moms, if your kid wants to learn something new, are you going to be like, oh. Sometimes. You can see I don't have kids, right? Just, come on, let's go. Okay, if you're babysitting someone else's child, maybe that's a better way to look at it, right? Maybe more excited. Right, so positive energy, motivation, and a client-centered approach. This for me is right at the top. Because I've been to a lot of Pilates classes in my time. I've been to a lot of yoga classes. I've been to a lot of spinning, Versa, boxing. I've been to all sorts of classes because I'm a little bit ADHD, right? So I get bored. I have to try everything. But what I find consistently is those people with full classes, you can feel their energy, right? Every single person in the class can feel that energy, and then they start to develop that energy. And then what starts to happen is you have a class filled with that energy. Someone new comes in. You don't even really need to try and give them energy. Why? Because the class already holds that energy. Do you think energy is transferable? Yes or no? Show me with your thumbs. Is energy transferable? Yes or no? Absolutely, 1000%. Someone can walk into the room. They don't say anything, but can you tell if they're angry? 1000%, right? Okay, so positive energy, motivation. We're going to go deeper into these later on because I'm getting distracted and we need to hurry this one up. Consistency, class flow, and adaptability, right? They should be able to adapt to whoever's in front of them. You never know. Are you getting someone for the first time, for the 100th time? You treat that person the same, but that's why there's different levels. So you give different levels, and that person can choose, do they want to challenge themselves or not? If you can see, and if you know them, you can see that they're on holiday in your class, you could say something, right? Oh, there's holiday today, right? You breezy old time. I think you can increase a little bit. I think you can push a little bit harder, right? But being able to adapt. Very important, mindfulness and presence, watching everyone and their ability to correct. Who here is a little bit ADHD? Anyone a little bit ADHD? Just a little bit. Okay, you're going to be a very good instructor, right? Those of you that are not so ADHD, you might struggle initially, right? ADHD people are bored because you're like, it's easier, right? Use your strengths. Focus on a million things at once, right? So as a Pilates instructor, you're going to be having a range of different things to focus on. Your music selection, your class selection, the people in front of you, what may go wrong, the equipment. So you're going to be thinking of a million things. And that's why being prepared, having your class beforehand, your class planned, is going to help you to not worry about that, right? So it takes away one concern. Now you just need to worry about the other 100 things in front of you. Makes it a lot easier, right? Okay, and the final one is a passion for continuing education and continuous learning. Right? A lot of you have already said, you study this, you study this, you study this, which means a lot of you here already have that growth mindset, that mindset of constantly developing and growing yourselves. And a big part of fulfillment, what actually creates fulfillment, what fills you up from the inside, is when you're growing, when you're developing, when you're challenging yourself. So when you feel like swearing me or Rory and being like, this is super challenging, just remember that it's part of fulfillment, okay? We're just trying to fulfill you guys. Say thank you instead, right? Every challenge helps us to be better. Because if there was no challenge, there would just be not just consistency, there'd be downhillness, right? Because if something's not growing, it's not staying still. What's actually happening? What happens to a plant? If a plant's not growing and blossoming, it's shriveling and dying because life continues forward. So in order to live a good life, to feel fulfilled, to feel like you have a purpose in your life, you should be continuously growing and progressing yourself. It's a beautiful thing to learn more, to give more, to be more. And we're really trying to approach everything with a change maker's mentality. Change maker's mentality is to be the best version of yourself, to be everything that you want to be able to give more, to do more, and to be able to make an impact and leave a difference in the world. And as instructors, we get to do that. Okay, beautiful. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go over the Pilates principles. Now, you each have a page. Online team, I don't know if you've got yours printed out or if you've got it in your tablet, that's fine. So there are 6 core Pilates principles. Now, these Pilates principles, they are going to be the guiding force for every single one of your classes. Every single class should be interwoven with these principles. And if you learn the principles and you understand the movement patterns, it becomes very easy to actually teach Pilates, whether it's on the mat, whether it's the reformer, as long as you understand these principles, because that's what every single class you're trying to do is, am I following the principles of Pilates? They are the laws of Pilates. Think of them like that. Okay, so the first one is concentration. The ability to concentrate, to be aware, right? Without concentration, you will have a trainer, an instructor who's absent. Does it make sense? I cannot correct you. I cannot guide you. I cannot motivate you. I cannot know when to push you and when to challenge you if I'm not aware. So think of that firstly from the instructor side. But secondly, concentration is what we're wanting to teach our students. We live in an information overload, meaning in today's society, there's so much happening, and that's why there's so much ADHD in the world, is because there's so much happening. There's so many different elements of life. There's so many distractions. So what Pilates does is it forces you to concentrate throughout the movement patterns. every single movement, you are concentrating, moving your body. You have that mind-body awareness. So every movement is with concentration, with awareness, not just doing it impulsively, reactively, without thinking. What happens in a HIIT class? Okay, do it as quick as possible. Are you thinking about how your glutes are squeezing, how your quad is squeezing? No, right? That's the difference with Pilates. Everything is done slowly with concentration. What it actually does is it trains our brain to be more present. Being more present helps you to be happier, helps you to be more grateful in life, prevents you from being too anxious. Why? Because if you're anxious, what are you generally thinking of? The future, right? Something in the future that I cannot control. Something that's away from this moment. Now I'm getting anxious about it. If I'm thinking about the past, generally it will make me sad. Why? Because sadness is a message that you've lost something or a feeling like you've lost something. So if I'm always thinking about the past and I'm like, oh, why didn't that happen? Why did that happen like that? Right? It can leave me feeling a bit sad or overwhelmed. However, if I think about in the future, generally, right now in the future, right now in the present, there's not a lot of anxiety and sadness in this actual moment, unless something sad is directly happening, right? Or anxiety riddling is happening, like if the roof was falling. So being present allows us to train our emotions, allows us to train our focus, our attention. So full attention to every single movement to ensure proper form. Throughout the entire class, you're encouraging, okay, you're moving with concentration, moving with awareness. How does that feel? Where is your body placed? Align your shoulders, align there's concentration. The second one is control. So the second principle is movement with control. There's no jerky movements. There's no fast movements that are uncontrolled. So with Pilates, every single movement is controlled, it's deliberate, it's performed with precision. There's no sloppy, jerky movements. So if you know this could be a bird dog, but not in Pilates, right? In Pilates, it's with control, with precision, with concentration, right? Okay, so we see how the principles get woven in. The next one is centering. Centering is basically engaging your core, or as we will be using the terminology, your powerhouse. Joseph Pilates called it the powerhouse in his original Contrology. So Contrology, where Pilates originated from, was the original Pilates. And then when Joseph Pilates later on, they changed Contrology to Pilates. So Joseph Pilates created it. Some of us may know, right? As a way to rehabilitate injured soldiers. So soldiers who were injured in the war. Joseph Pilates came up with Contrology. He was a gymnast, boxer, and he was also a rehabilitation specialist. And he came up with this method of exercising. He used to train them originally from the hospital bed with resistance bands, with different things on the bed, how the reformer came as part of that, attaching springs and straps to the hospital bed. Right. So the Contrology, the main focus is on the core, the powerhouse. We're not just speaking about those six-pack abs, right? The core also includes the hips. It includes all the little muscles, right? It includes the spine. So the core includes a bunch of different muscles and even the glutes. You need to have strong glutes and strong hips in order to have a strong core. So with every single movement, we are focusing on the powerhouse. So again, when I am doing a movement, Am I cueing for every movement? Engage the core. Belly button in towards the spine. Rib cage tucked. Spine neutral. Right? Because this is how we engage the core. Right? So through every movement, I'm bringing in centering. I'm bringing in control. I'm bringing in precision. Right? Every single exercise, remember the Pilates principles. Get comfortable with the Pilates principles, and you will deliver an amazing class. The next one is flow. Where's my dancers? I know Carmen, right? Ballerina. Where's my dancers, right? Ausha, Divya, Akmaral. So when we're looking at flow, what is flow? It's dancing. So how can we bring flow into our transitions? I wouldn't maybe do this to this to this, right? Maybe I'd want to do something like right? So everything should be flowing. When I'm looking at the movements, it's flowing. If I'm looking at the toes, they are pointed like a ballerina, right? So my ballet ladies, you're going to find this the easier. We've got the Pilates stance, which is the toes, right? So everything, think of that flow, think of that dance. So now when we're looking at our programming, how can we program so that it's like you're almost in a dance with your mind, your body, every movement focused with precision, with engaging the core. Just a few things you have to remember, right? Okay. So after flow, we have precision, right? So precision, moving precisely. Precision and alignment of the body in all motions. If I am standing, are the hips aligned? If I am circling the toes, I am cueing precise circles, right? I'm not just letting them draw wiggles. It's a precise circle with a pointed toe. So now, every time we do a movement, how can we do it precisely, that everything is in alignment? How can we do it with flow? How can we do it with precision and with the pointed toes? Except that some movements, there's fixed feet. Okay, so every single movement, precision is prioritized over intensity. If they do not have the movement precise, they cannot move to the harder version. You cannot increase the intensity unless you have that movement mastered precisely. Okay, and then finally, the final one, and this was actually brought in later, is the breath. So moving in alignment with the breath. In Pilates, we coach inhale to prepare, exhale to move. So every movement, think, how can I align my breath and my core with this movement? When I'm looking at my plan, my overall class plan, I'm looking for the transitions, the flow. I'm looking for, the flow of the class. But in every single movement, I'm looking for that breath. So every movement I teach, okay, we are going to be doing the roll down. Inhale to prepare, exhale. Okay, we're going to be doing our crisscross. Think, how do they breathe? Right? You would think that breathing is natural at this age, but a lot of people breathe wrong. Right? And the goal for the breath is we want to expand all the air out of the abdominals so that we can contract them when you're in that full contraction move. So inhale to prepare, exhale to squeeze. Inhale to prepare. Also with Pilates, and here is where my yoga instructors may have a little bit of a struggle. I'll show who's else's Pilates, yoga. Sally. Okay, beautiful. Tell me your name one more thing. Patty. Patty.
Paddy.
Patty. Patty. Okay. So I'm not the one that spoke to all of you guys, so I need a little bit of a few moments to get used to the names. Patty. Patty. Okay, so yoga instructors, it's a little bit more challenging. Why? Because with yoga, where are we breathing from? Nose, but we breathe into the belly, right? So you're breathing into the belly. General stressed people, they're breathing into the chest, and that's why they feel like they're suffocating half the time, right? Because they're not getting enough oxygen. With Pilates, we breathe through the rib cage. So it's called lateral thoracic breathing. So with Pilates, we coach to breathe through the ribs. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through pursed lips into the rib cage. So when we go through the practical part now, I'll show you how that looks like in a class. But that is the Pilates principles, right? Pretty cool. That's all we need to master. That's all we need to know for today or throughout the next 6 weeks is if we learn these principles, you will be able to structure your class the right way, every single class. Okay. Because did you know, out of interest sake, we're going to be learning 34 mat movements. We're going to be learning about 20 reformer movements, or if not more. Did you know that there's hundreds of Pilates movements, right? Have you ever been to a class and you're doing lunges, right? Or push-ups? If not, clearly haven't been to my class. That's what all the classes. You can do bicep curls. In a Pilates, you can do a shoulder press. Right, we're going to learn the traditional 34, and hopefully you'll put some of those in the Pilates class as well. But every single movement, bicep curl, with awareness, with control, with engaging the core, slowly control precise movements, making sure everything is in alignment, and you can literally do any exercise. Of course, there's the traditional ones, and we want to try and incorporate the traditional ones. But nowadays, you can do Pilates with so many different exercises, right? So once you master the principles, you understand the structure of a class, you understand how to do the what, the why, the how, you can go and find any exercises you like and plug them in to the strategy. Does it make sense? Okay, beautiful. Okay. So, any questions before we do the practical part of it, before we start the practical? Any questions on any of this? There will be an exam coming up. Once we're finished the anatomy and physiology, there'll be an exam on the anatomy and physiology. We will probably do that directly after the training of anatomy and physiology while it's kind of fresh in your mind. And then there'll be another one at the end. But don't worry about it now. In the theory, we'll discuss all of that. I'll tell you about it. I'll prep you for it. Yeah. Exactly. Make it so you make it.
We just get by them lunch.
No. If anyone wants to go to the bathroom, you can go now while I'm setting up. This bathroom this morning it was flooded for some reason, so it's the okay, perfect. You know where to go? Okay, perfect. Online ladies, Emma, Carmen, do any of you have any questions?